Hi again guys, and welcome to, of course, another circuit tune for GT Sport 1.50, this time for a very, very popular car, and actually in terms of how positive most of the feedback has been, this seems to kind of be one of the cars that stands out the most from the 5 that we've received in 1.50, so many people are really happy with it. Now, of course, there are a couple of things which could turn some people off. The sound, for instance, is one. Some people have found it a little bit too soft on the suspension, and I can definitely say that's not an issue at all with this tune. This sorts that out. It's already got great handling and it makes it even better. There's tons of grip. Now, as I've said before in my N-Class tunes, you'll have probably seen in the thumbnail that it says N200, but there's a little plus symbol. And what that means is you do not have to tune it to N200 if you don't want to. You can, by all means, give it more power if you so choose. Now, as far as the tune goes, I've optimized it for N200, but as I said, you can tune it up if you want to. So we've got 72% power in order to get it into N200. The weight is dropped as much as it can be, which is kind of crucial for a car like this, which is heavier than some. You know, a hot hatch or an exotic, for instance, in comparison, will typically weigh a couple of 100 kilos less. So the weight loss is kind of crucial. Traction control is turned off. That's down to you, though. Tyres, of course, they're sports tyres. Build it on racing tyres, it's only good on race tyres. Build it on sports tyres, and racing will be even better. That's the abridged version, and I've explained that in other videos if you don't know what I'm talking about. As far as the suspension goes, I would recommend dropping the ride height completely, and of course on really bumpy circuits you might want to increase it a little bit, but most of the time you'll be okay. As far as the frequency goes, we've got 2.15 on the front and the rear, so it's pretty high, but it's not as high as it can go, and even then the settings aren't quite as stiff as some of the other cars in the game anyway. As far as the anti-roll, we've got 7 on the front and the rear. That's pretty much perfect, I think, at least for my driving style. As far as the compression on the dampers, we've got 65, then 92 for the rebound, 1.5 degrees of camber on the front, 2 degrees on the back. Once again, that's perfect for me, but of course, play around. You could give it more, you could give it less. As far as tow, that is neutral. Downforce is not in play, of course. As far as the diff, again, it's perfect for the way I wanted this car to handle, but by all means, you can try something else out if you want to. I've gone halfway on that initial torque, as you can see, then the lowest braking and the lowest acceleration. And finally, of course, for the gearbox, this is, as I always say, one of the main things that you will need to change if you do give it more power, because this is absolutely just designed for N200. So if you do give it 300, 400 plus horsepower, you will want to stretch those gears out more to allow it to get more speed. So you want the fully customized transmission, and if you do keep it in N200, I'd recommend an auto setting that's as low as it can go. Then, as far as the individual gears, first gear is all the way to the right to improve the acceleration off the line. Then second is 2.9, 2.2, 1.8, then fifth, and, well, actually not sixth, but fifth is all the way to the left, and then sixth is 1.160, with a final drive of 3.46, as you can see. And as you can see from the torque curve, or not the torque curve, but the gear curve, I should say, and also from the actual specs, 5.7 for top speed, 4.4 for acceleration. So for N200, that's still pretty good. So of course, with all of that out of the way, what you want to see is this car competitive? Does it just feel good? Or is it a competitive car as well? Well, let's find out. Well, put simply, yes, it's definitely competitive. Now, I haven't tuned this up into those higher categories, but the principles that I've applied to the handling should definitely still apply in those higher ones. It should allow you to put more power down more effectively, just make the car that little bit more focused, a little bit tighter and stiffer through corners to combat that slightly wallowy soft suspension that it has in its stock form in particular, because let's be honest, this car never has bad handling, so it's not like it was a difficult tune to do. In fact, it's one of the best cars in terms of handling, I think, in N200. Now, in terms of how fast it is, this is not the fastest N200 car that I've built, which isn't too surprising. You know, any category where you can have a Porsche, they're probably going to dominate. However, this is faster than my 350Z tune, the Nissan, in this same category, and it's right behind my tune for the Clio V6. So in N200, it actually compares pretty well, especially considering that I've got 9 vehicles which are all within like a second of each other. So for this car to be that good, it shows the potential. It's right behind a ton of the other N200s that I've done, and there are only 1 or 2 cars which are like around a second quicker than this, and I believe one of them was the Porsche 356. And that's a 1.2 million credit car compared to this, which is 80 grand. So in terms of value for money, it's pretty great. Overall though, it's super easy to use, and I guarantee if you were already in love with the M3, you will love it even more with this tune. The handling is spot on, it's so easy to drive, there's tons of feedback. It really is perfect, I think, actually, as far as handling goes, and I'm not just saying that about my tune. It's a great car to work with, regardless of the tune setup that you apply. So, overall, if you do decide to use it, I hope you have a ton of fun with it, of course, and if you are new to my tuning videos, click the playlist here on screen, and you can see all of my others, and I've done tons of them. But, until next time, I'll see you then, and for now, as always, thanks for watching.